Good morning. How's everybody doing? Hi, Cody Kid. Cody Kirby, sorry. Need to get my eyes tested. And Jeffrey Boyle. How's it going? Absolutely freezing in this basement, by the way. So anybody else who hasn't subscribed to the channel, if you can subscribe and like, that would be amazing. Well, don't like till you know. In fact, don't do any of it till you're perfectly satisfied. All right. So, not much planned for today, apart from playing tons of guitar, which I'm looking forward to doing. Want to have a bit of my cup of coffee. But as always, it's been a very busy week. So last week I decided, after the last live I did, so last week, the last live I did was chromatic enclosures, at least the ones that I use on guitar. So I did chromatic enclosures, that was all good. And then I decided that it might be a good idea to start doing the odd video tutorial. So there's a couple of tutorials on there. It was my take. The first one is my take on sort of the Joe Bonamassa, Eric Johnson descending groups of 5 licks and the way that I do it, which is this weird economy picking thing, which I thought people would find interesting, and they did. And then I've also done another pentatonic picking super fast. It's like a Rick Graham, the What the Fuck lick, it's called. But it ascends in groups of 7. So yeah, they're just like weird note groupings, these licks. So they're pretty cool. So just been doing stuff like that, really. Just thinking of the next one to do. Legato, yes, right. So, but which bit of legato? I mean, I'm going to cover all of it, right? But the thing is, I've shot one video, but like, oh god, when you start doing like YouTube stuff, you think, oh, is that boring? You know, right. And Eric Johnson, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a massive Eric Johnson fan, but there are things in his playing that I hear that I really like. Obviously, like the way he does pentatonics and things like that, and I love his like wide interval stuff. When I say wide interval, like the thing that I think people pick up on is the what do you call them? Spread triads. That this kind of thing. Sorry, got to warm up here. That kind of thing. So yeah, the spread triads are a cool thing. Can't even feel the guitar neck at the minute. So yes, so yeah, spread triads. Which is not like a thing I particularly use. But it's actually a good little thing to kind of jump off into a solo. Warming up. I might have to put this fire on for a bit, to be fair. Favorite EJ techniques? Yeah. Well, I can tell you what I hear, okay, when he plays, and like what I think sort of like similar in a way. So, I'll just have a bit of my coffee, and I've had a little idea for a little thing, a little lesson. We can have a look at. I think what I might do is I should. I'll just stick some drums down. What have we got? Not like 2 bars, alright then. Okay, something like that'll do. Something to play along to. Maybe add a synth, do you think? Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. Nearly there. Cool. I think maybe one more thing on here, and then I'm ready. One more thing. Okay, done. Right. Okay. I would love to know what you are thinking when you're moving across the neck. Are you thinking of modes or are you thinking of single notes? Interesting to me. Right, okay, that's a good one as well. Right, so the way that I'm thinking about it is this. At least we've got a track now, so I can give a few examples. So I think of it in a number of different ways. All right. So the first way is I tend to have this kind of. I'll think of everything like in pentatonic scales, right? Because it's a really blunt way to think about it and sound really good. So what we've got to remember about a pentatonic scale is that, you know, if you've got a minor 7 chord here and you're playing like just the first position of a pentatonic scale, okay, what you're doing is basically you're playing most of the chord tones of, well, you're playing all the chord tones of a minor 7 chord, aren't you? And I have this addition of the 4th, which is a great tension note, but it also gives you, you know, the sus4 and an 11 as well. So that's a great place to start. And then the other sort of like hack to this is that I'll start then thinking about the 9th, which is like the F sharp. which gives us that nice melodic note. And then, of course, we've got the flat 5. Now, I'm thinking in numbers, aren't I? You know, it's that jazz hack thing. You know, you're thinking of a numbering system, and that's great because what it means is it works in all of the keys. It's always the same. You're not having to rethink of like the note names of things. It just makes it a little bit easier to think about stuff when you're improvising. It's a good little sort of shorthand. So that's the first thing, yeah. So pentatonic. So we've got the root 5th, we've got the 4th, 5th, and 7th. Then we can add in, and also the 11th. We've also added in the 9th or the 2nd, and that also gives us the sort of melodic side of it. Now, for a natural minor scale, that's pretty good. I mean, the only other note we're missing, so there's 6 notes of the 7 notes, right? Is the C, which is the flat 6. Now, some people say it's the avoid note, but you can get it to sound really good. It's not like something I would completely avoid all the time. But you could approach it. You can approach it in a few different ways. And I suppose the way that I'll approach it is I'll think of it most of the time as a passing note. That's one way. And the other way is just to work on melodic phrases that are going to make sense using that note. And also, when you've got a chord tone that C is part of, the C major 7, going to give you the root, then it's going to sound all right there. But generally, you know, when you fall and it's like, oh, why did I hit that note? It just like does nothing. It just sounds so flat, you know? So that's why hands are starting to warm up a bit. So that's one way to think of it. And then really that extends to when I'm adding sort of chromatic notes in, I'll even think of that as well. So, you know, when I'm thinking of like approach notes, which tend to be outside of the key, you know, I'm thinking of that as well. So, you know, here we have like basically flattened first. We're sliding up to that root, or major 7, I should say. Flat 5 to the 5th. What else we got? Flat 6. Sorry, flat 9. So we've got all of those sort of notes as well. So that's a way that I would think of it. And then we've got intervals, right? So intervals are really cool. Just the distance between notes and just getting your head sort of used to, you know, how they sound. So there's things that I like to do, like wide interval things. I like the sounds of major 7s. It's a particularly strong sound, you know, if we hear it with this. So, yeah. All fives. So yeah, so pretty much all the time I'm thinking in intervals as well. So that's a really great question. And also shapes. I'll think of shapes as well. Shapes are part of this. So there's a few things that I've got going on with that. Just sort my hair out too. So shapes. Okay, we've got another question coming in here. So Brian, I'm assuming you want to know about shapes. And then we've got hi Hutch, I've been trying to practice arpeggios for a couple of days. Today I practiced for hours till my fingers got tingly. D chord on the 12th fret, followed by a hammer on the 15th. Right, okay. And back. Right, okay. So another very good question. My hands are absolutely tingly, they're completely numb. I'm going to put the heater on. Sorry, it's like a fan, so it's going to be probably hear it in the background. Oh, it's much better. Right. So I do the same thing, like tingly hands. Yeah, it's funny because you just get so sort of like obsessed into practicing something. But I think the thing is, like, what you got to do is, and I've talked about this before, the way to practice is to approach it like you're addicted to it. You know, you need to cause an addiction. And to do that, you need to have fun, okay? And we need to let go of what the result is, okay? What we're trying to get to isn't as important. What is important is the process and enjoying the process. So one great thing to do is just to take an arpeggio that you're working on and just start improvising with it. Try and use it musically with a backing track. So just get a backing track, D major or whatever. We're in E minor, so I'm going to play D major over the C minor. See what it does. Okay, so I don't know what the proper technique is. Right, okay, so you've got a number of ways to play. There's lots of techniques, and there is no proper technique. It's however you want to play it. I know that sounds very confusing. So, like, I play arpeggios in a lot of different ways. So, sometimes I'll do hammers only and pull-offs. That's one way. We've got sweeping. picking each note alternately. And we've got hybrid. Hold on. Like that. So there's a number of different techniques you can have, and it's just kind of building your repertoire with these, but I would pick just one. I mean, for me, if you're just a complete beginner, the way I started all of this is I learned to alternate pick, all the notes. Because you kind of need that to get you about between things, especially when you're using all the other techniques. But and then after that, it was sweep picking. And then I started using, the hybrid. Actually, no, it was the hammers, legato only, or left hand only. And then hybrid came in. So just pick one of them. But my suggestion is that you want to be able to use this from day one in like a really musical sense. So it's just really having fun with that arpeggio, that D major arpeggio, whatever inversion you're in. I mean, I very rarely play a straight D major. It's always mixed with something else. I tend to extend everything, and I don't really do the massive all that kind of stuff. I don't do the big rock thing anymore, and I haven't done for years. It all tends to be just more of a kind of fusion approach, really. Like smaller arpeggios. So I need to go back to patterns as well, because we're talking about patterns. And this, this approach of just trying to make everything musical and just enjoy just a few notes is like super important, because at the end of the day, whatever you're playing, you just need to make it sound good, because at some point you're going to record yourself. And that's when the rubber really hits the road. That's when people record themselves, they hear them playing back, they're like, oh, there's loads of things I don't like about it, and you've got to sort it out. So from day one, whatever you're doing, you just got to make sure it's solid and it sounds good, even if it's just, 4 notes, like 4 notes at arpeggio. We want it to sound good. And part of that is just like listening to maybe how each note sounds over a chord progression. So you might just... The cool thing about that, the cool thing about doing that is you've got limitations, right? And limitations is where the artist lives, because already, when I'm doing that, I'm already thinking about notes that are sort of outside of that arpeggio. I want to add in a B note there on this D major, which makes it B minor 7. You might bend up to that note. So you can start really thinking sort of more outside of the box with that limitation. But I think just practicing technique till your hand gets numb. You need to do a little bit of that, but try and have some fun. You sound beyond good. Oh, well, that's good, because I tell you what, my hand. I complain about this when I wake up in this basement. So, I mean, I've got a lovely house, by the way. But me and the missus were like the basement. You see, we're just like we're always doing creative projects. So we're in here, and I mean, she's just lying on the bed there, typing away, working on a novel, believe it or not. And I'm here. I mean, she's wrapped up. I'm here freezing my arse off, doing a guitar lesson for you lot, which is absolutely brilliant. But yeah, I'm always complaining about the weather. So anyway, patterns. Okay. So patterns, I absolutely love patterns, right? But when I think of patterns, the one thing that really sort of springs to mind is like all the things you can do with just a simple pentatonic scale to make it sound like totally amazing, right? Like that, for example. So this is all like pentatonic, right? And the way I'm doing this is like this. So what I'm thinking about, right, is I'm thinking of the pentatonic scale where you play it 3 notes per string, right? You'll have this. Now the problem with that, right, is that we're repeating notes. Not that that's a problem. You can come up with like really cool patterns with stuff like that going across like that. But I'm combining position 1 with position 2. So for me, what I like to do is make them into these 2-1-2 arpeggios. So if I start from here, and this is just E minor pentatonic, I miss just the middle note, and then I play 1, and I just repeat that. Now that would sound good with your D major arpeggio. So you can come up with some really cool stuff like that. Let's have a listen. Getting risky here. My hands can barely keep up. So the cool thing about that pattern, I better show everybody it slowly. So E minor pentatonic, I'm starting on the 5th string, and I'm just going first finger on, so the first finger's on the 12th fret on the 5th string, stretch up to the 17, and then the second finger's playing the 14th fret on the D string, and then I'm playing the first finger on the 12th fret with the G string. 4th finger is hammering on to the 16th fret, and then I've got my 3rd finger, okay, and that's on the 15th fret of the 2nd string, and then to finish it, we've got the 1st finger on the 12th, 4th finger on the 17th. So it's almost like a quartal harmony thing. We've got this sort of thing going. When I say quartal harmony, it's got 4ths in it. I'm using that. Sort of idea. And you can use like little fragments, can't you, as well? Now, bearing in mind, because we've got a pentatonic scale, penta meaning 5, there's obviously 5 positions of this. So you need to learn those across the fretboard, and then you've got all of these really cool, like little crazy sounding pentatonic type arpeggios. So I think that's a brilliant one for intervals anyway. If you want that wide interval sound, and sounds maybe it's a little bit like Eric Johnson, do you think? You know. Because we're playing in the pentatonic, and I'm using these wide pentatonic style arpeggio things, just my traditional pentatonic playing sounds great. It sounds like it all fits together. Yeah, so it's like lots of stuff you can do that. Hi Jeff, how are you doing? So today's studio session just seems to be a bit of a cool question and answer. So I've had some good questions in here, which you could base a full live stream on. So we're just talking about intervals, those kind of things, like how I think about stuff when I'm improvising. I mean, the other thing is like note sequences and diatonic stuff. So like, there's a lot of that happens, especially when I'm doing legato. Hi Angus, how are you doing? Yeah, so I'll think of sequences. All right. Any other questions? Have a little jam on this track. Oh, a bit of a newbie trick there that I've done. Mistake. I need to set my Live Logic pedal. There we go. Where am I? Come back here. So I've got, I haven't got everything in place yet, but I have some really cool stuff on my pedal board, like effects that are sort of like, I've got like a stutter, I've got like a reverb, just swamps everything out, and I've also got like this high pass filter, so we can have like everything like lo-fi like that. Maybe sort of like, and then you can kick everything in. There we go. Right, I'm gonna have to have a bit of coffee here. Right, so yeah, here's a good question. I'll just catch up on the chat, cause ooh. So anybody out there who's just sort of joined in, do subscribe to the channel, and a thumbs up would be amazing. I've got 10 there already, so that's pretty good. So Marcus, great having you on here. Obviously subscribe if you haven't, that would be amazing. Glad you're enjoying it all. Steve, I remember the fuzz he used. Oh my god, nice, yeah. Sick man, nice, thank you. Oh. Top Solo Man, love the tremolo fit. Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? And I'll talk about that in a minute. Tremolo, wow, dope. Jesus, excellent, excellent technique. Very good sound, boy. Thank you. I'm warming up. You should put, at the beginning of this video, I couldn't even do anything. Are you using an EQ pedal for the high pass filter or something more specific? Something more specific. I have good sustain, thank you. Already signed up. Brilliant. All right then, so let's have a look. So we have, oh, I'll tell you a cool thing. For those of you who notice detail, which is I'm sure all of you, I've got, switch the feet off now. So both me and Thomas have got these dark filters on the cameras, these dark mist. They're really good. I'm loving the look. It's very subtle. So some of you might notice that the overall look of what's going on here is a little bit more chilled out. But you can see like the lights here are a little bit more fuzzy. I've got a bit of a glow to it, and that's this dark filter. And because I've got, I like a bit of detail, I've got like another light here, which is actually I'm using it for the guitar light as well. It gives a nice little pink glow there. So it's all in the detail, isn't it? But I've got 2 lots of dark filters now. So I've got one on the Secret Garden camera, which is where we're going now. For those of you who haven't been to Secret Garden, this is the Secret Garden. So there's a dark filter, dark mist, or whatever it's called, or dark smoke, basically on this. So I'll bring my thing over. Right. And this is what I have. I mean, this full thing, this is my whole sort of live streaming thing that I've got at the minute. It allows me to sort of write ideas very, very quickly. But what I've got is I've got this mix bus, and on the mix bus, I've got Pro Q4, just doing a little bit of stuff. I've got some Zebra Clipper, which I don't need. I'm going to take that off. So a little bit of compression. But this is it here. If I push button, it's an EQ8 in Ableton Live, and all I've done is I've used a 48 dB cutoff slope because I like the way on this EQ that the hold on, you can't see it, can you? There we go. Sorry. Right, okay, I'll start again. So on my master bus, right, we've got EQ4, we've got SSL compressor, and then I've got this. So it's a bit of a dance trick, this one, actually. That I used to use all the time on breakdowns and stuff. So what I've got is basically 2, a high pass and a low pass filter set to 48 dB. One is the high cut that I've got here. That's just removing, that's like right down to 3.3 kilohertz. So it's taking a lot of the high end away. And then I'm taking a whole massive chunk of the low end. So that's up to 240. So a big amount of the track's gone. I'll have a listen to that. But the other thing I do is I've got a utility plugin, and I'm also narrowing the stereo width. Okay, so I've taken away quite a bit of that. There's only like 27% of the actual. It's still slightly stereo, but it's narrow. And then I've also, on the gain, the whole track, everything that's going through this gets reduced by 1.5 dB. So what that means is it just means that when I switch it off, the track comes in with a little bit more impact. So you can hear how the sides kind of disappear a bit when I switch it on, and then it'll reappear, the whole thing will go wide. Yeah, see? So that's pretty cool. So yeah, so that's what I'm using, an EQ. It's just a really accurate way to do it, and I like that the 48 dB slope, just using the native EQ. I am using a push controller. You can see it there. So that's how I'm kind of patching into things. In fact, the mic's in the way. If I can get the mic out of the way, sort of see a little bit what's going on here. So like the orange bit there, that's like what I can see on the push. So we've got the drums, and then I've just got like a load of guitar stuff kind of here. So it's there. So just have various guitar things. That's the guitar bass. Got like an ambient guitar. Which is like really, you know, figure some drums. See what I can come up with. Drop it in the right place. Everyone seems to be just coming in after the first beat. So there, you sort of get the idea when it's working. Interest now. So yeah, that kind of thing you can sort of do. Yeah, stock EQ on the master bus, pretty brutal, I know, but it does sound good. I try to tune into your channel when I can. You are awesome on my 43-inch 4K. I assume you're better. I assume you're better live. To thumbs up, and all that. Oh, brilliant! Thank you, CO. So simple but sounds wicked. Yeah, it's just great. I like to see how other people set up their doors for live playing. I use Bitwig instead of Ableton and do something similar with containers for different guitar sounds. I appreciate you showing you how you have it set up. No, it's a pleasure. I'm happy to share whatever I've got. It's all good. I think it's important. Which reminds me. So those of you out there who are finding it difficult, challenging to write and finish music, I do run a music coaching business. I was trained by an amazing guy called Mike Monday, who is just the best coach ever. He coaches a lot of like A-listers. So one of the people actually he coaches is Jax Jones and Claude Von Stroke. So I had the pleasure of being coached by him way back in 2014. And I actually ended up one of his coaches as well, and I have my own coaching business now, which I've been running for the last sort of 3-4 years, which is brilliant. And the whole coaching thing is just about getting people to start and finish their music and getting it released. And I give you all the support you need to do that. Thing with coaching is why it's so effective is because what I'm doing is I'm helping you facilitate the skills that you already have, okay? If there's a skill deficit, I will go into teaching and help with that. But what I always find, right, pretty much without exception, is that no matter who you are, you already have the skills to make great music, okay? When we think about electronic music, like all the producers, right, who basically make amazing stuff, right? And you're thinking like, wow, how do they do that? And they can't even like play an instrument, you know? It's all up here. We've all got the language of music here, and it's down to people like me to help those people facilitate those skills and just make the best music ever. So I've already got the skills to make great music. You know, you can make music as good as anybody else. Everybody can go out, you know, you can get your hands on whatever software. It doesn't matter what you're using, but we all have amazing tools at our disposal. So in terms of quality of music, that shouldn't be too much of an issue, you know. It's just getting people focused around that. And the other thing is it is entirely possible, you know, as I'm sitting here, to make money out of your music as well. So you can do that as well. But the only way for any of this to happen, or for any opportunities to happen in your career, is to actually be able to produce music, to be able to get lots of music out there, because it's the calling card. I know, like, in a way, you know, music is sort of worthless. But without that, you can't create the opportunities. So music's always created amazing opportunities for me. Like in my dance career, you know, I charted 7 times. I had tons of music out, and like loads of different, like really good labels. And then we've got the whole McRocklin Hutch, you know, the collaborations I've done. Well, the features with like Jordan Rudess, Michelangelo Batio, Angel Vivaldi, to name a few. We've got another one coming up when we eventually finish it, but we're so preoccupied with live streaming it's a bit difficult. But you know, we've got all these amazing collaborations, and none of that would have been possible if I hadn't have been making music. You know, the McRocklin Hutch wouldn't exist. I wouldn't have Kiesel guitars. You know, I wouldn't be an artist with them. Nothing would happen unless I sat down and started making that music. And the other thing about making music, right, is that it's not, it's not about thinking about quality, like I'm going to make this track like perfect. It's about abundance. It's about believing that creativity is in abundance, and you can just produce lots and lots of ideas and pick the best ones. And I have a whole system called the automatic music making machine, which is the foundations of this coaching. So I have a system which allows you to work on multiple tracks, all in parallel, and to create literally an album's worth of material very, very, very quickly. So if anybody's interested in that and wants to find more, you can jump on a free call with me for half an hour, and I can tell you more about it. I can show you the automatic music making machine. And I will do some more kind of coaching type streams at some point. It's just I'm really locked in with the guitar, so people know sort of more about it. But if you are interested, do send me an email, and we can do like a half an hour, and that would be great. But I mean, the structure of the coaching is basically we meet up once a week for 2 hours, and I take you through some like guided exercises, games, I should say, that will give you insight into your music making and show you what you need to be working on. And then I'll help you work through that. So there we go. So we all need music. That's what we need. Music's kind of what gets everything going, really. Are you using an articulated arm and laptop stand to hold the push up like that? I think I need one of those. All right, that's a good. This is a quick lock stand, and it's. I bought this, and what was. That's a really good question, actually, because that's a quick lock stand. I don't know why I got that stand, and it's separate from the bit that's holding the laptop. But basically, it's a laptop holder that I've got that I bought from Quick Lock. And I think it comes with the stand. But I remember when I was on, because when McRocklin and Hutch first started, weirdly enough, I was writing, producing the music, and Thomas was playing guitar on the top. And I wasn't playing guitar on the first album. I was just like, I was producing and writing and playing keyboards. And we went on tour with Dragon Force, and that's where we did a UK tour with them. And that's where I got this, so I could play live. I'm pointing at something, nobody can see it. This, the stand. Yeah, so it's quick lock. That's what it is. Very sturdy. So I dragged that out and put it on. I thought, oh, that's cool. But articulated arm, I don't know if it's that. That sounds like heavy industry stuff, doesn't it? That gave me an idea. I have a projector and there's a white wall in front of my building. I should stream you on the entire net. That would be brilliant. I would love that. Great achievement. Thank you. Hi. How you doing? You have that stand for the push. Yeah, it's good, isn't it? Works perfectly, even if it's designed for a laptop. Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it? I mean, it never occurred to me to do that till I it's funny, like the things that don't occur to you to do, and then suddenly, and it's blatantly obvious, I'm always like dark filters. Like now, I mean, Stelly, I don't know. Do you notice the difference in the lighting in here? It's very subtle. But you normally, like, you're good with detail. So a quick lock laptop holder, yeah, that's what you're using, and you can adjust it and it holds push perfectly. Can't see right. So I've got some dark filters. So this, you see this here, so like the lights are more blurred. It's just that it's a dark mist. So everything, like the lighting's sort of like blurred out. And it smooths everything out a bit. And then what I've done is I've put this backlight, because I thought it was quite annoying with it hanging down. I've put that right up, so that's like a hair light now. But also works quite well. Sort of there. Crank it up a bit, but sort of get away with it there as well. So that was like a couple of improvements I've done. Excellent. Nice Amazon. Yeah, that it's pretty. Yeah. It's that's what we're referring to. Yeah, the green wall. So yeah, I had a fake greenery wall installed in the back. It's quite good. It's actually quite good for mixing. Like, you know, absorb some of the standing waves, which is pretty cool. Right, another coffee here. All right. Well, okay. What else should we talk about? There we go. Some details there from Stelly. My stand is the one you can adjust. It's articulated and has silicon padding. Yeah, I think that's mine. First time viewer, you all right there, James? How you doing? You'll have to catch up. There's been lots of like guitar playing, so I'm like having my coffee and a bit of a chat. So there's been lots of like cool things happening today. Lots of shredding, talking about improvisation, talking about arpeggios, and then I've shown everybody a little look at basically my live setup. So that's worth a little look from a couple of different angles. There's guitar close-ups, and yeah, that's how I roll. Guitar player in Nashville, brilliant. Ooh, who were your influences growing up? Right, well, that's interesting. So I would have said first influence was Michael J. Fox, Back to the Future. Like, I wanted to be like him. But the first ever, I suppose pre-guitar would have been, I always loved Van Halen. So like, yeah. So my brother had the Van Halen one album, and I was hooked. And then I think the first influence would have been when I was very young, probably Jakey Lee. I used to love as a kid that Salt Lake City gig, and he had the Charvel, the white Charvel with a black scratch plate. My first guitar was an Ibanez 440, and was white with a black scratch plate. I wanted to be just like him. Then I heard Yngwie Malmsteen, and then my draw just went, boof, how do you do that? And then I didn't know you could play guitar like that. And then that really triggered everything into doing 40 hours practice a day. Yeah, I love Jakey Lee. I mean, obviously Randy Rhoads was amazing. It's just Jakey Lee was the first person who I saw, so it's like, you know, first come, first served, really. I was like, that's amazing. What a guy. So I thought, like, yeah, like, brilliant. So that was the first, and then it just like into the rabbit hole of Shrapnel Records. So Racer X was a big thing. Paul Gilbert, massive. Oh, who else? But then Greg Howe came along, and then it was like, that's incredible. love all that kind of bluesy fusion thing. Richie Kotzen, I love Richie Kotzen. So I kind of like his first album. Like when I listen to it now, the first album, it's like it's not the greatest recording in the world. It's like ear piercingly. I have to turn all the treble down. But yeah, there were certain moments that were very influential on that album. I love that way that I love those like stacked arpeggios he does, where you're basically stacking triads, you know, this sort of thing. So all of that stuff's super cool. Yeah, so that the Richie Kotzen stuff was a big album, a big influence, especially the Fever Dream album. I loved all of that. And then he started, you know, and then there was the hybrid picking, which I only started hybrid picking the last sort of year, really. So I love all that kind of stuff. That's brilliant. Somebody stole my headstock, yeah. Believe it or not, James, I'm endorsed by Kiesel Guitars, believe it or not, who are absolutely amazing. So yeah, this is the Osiris. Absolutely love it. Sounds great. Yeah. So yeah, no, it was made like this. Nobody stole the headstock. What influences? I'm trying to think. And then lately, so influences have been. I got into quite a bit of. I really liked sort of what Rick Graham was doing, what Tom Quayle are doing, with legato and things like that. So that's a newish thing. Tim Miller. I love the way Tim Miller approaches like the 2-1-2 arpeggios. I think they sound great. I'll go back there. Just play a bit. Right, let's have a listen to this. See if we can get some. Yeah, so that kind of stuff I really like. Cool. And that's my final jam for this morning. There's some things I need to work on, actually. Oh, thank you, James. And just anybody who hasn't subscribed, please do subscribe and give a thumbs up. That would be amazing. I've got 16 now. You aren't fully bending often, but a lot of string. Yeah, actually, I should bend more, right? And there's a reason for that. Is because I play. I'm what you call a therapeutic musician, believe it or not. So a lot of work I do is working within autism. So I use music to help people get well in mental health, autism, severe learning difficulties. So I do a lot of things like intensive interaction. So using music as a language for people who verbally can't communicate, who have limited communication abilities. So this is the day job, as well as doing all of this. And it's just absolutely brilliantly super creative thing to do. So a lot of the time I'm moving about like hospital wards, and I'll use an acoustic guitar, and bending on an acoustic guitar is proper. Like when I come onto a guitar like this, with muscle memory, I just bend sharp all the time. And these streams are always first thing in the morning, so when I get up, my ear's not fully in, so I'll probably bend out of tune loads. Have a look. So the bending's not like fully there. It's always a bit, so I have to kind of like work on that, because that's like one of the things that goes, isn't it? Is that intonation on the bending. So I'll favour like just sliding to a note. Well spotted. Anyway, I'm gonna have to. You look like Benjamin Orr from the Cars. Ooh, the Cars, that's an old band, isn't it? I'll have to check that out. Do I look like him? All right, guys. So I'm going for my morning walk very soon, which has been great. It's been a great live. I'm back on tomorrow morning, believe it or not. The reason I haven't been streaming as much is because I've been making the odd bit of content. So I've kind of done a bit of that this week, so I'm happy. There's a video up just on playing 3-note per string pentatonic pattern. It's like the what the fuck Rick Graham lick, but it's my version, which is it's like groups of 7 ascending. So check that out. And apart from that, and I've also got a load of really like crazy tops to wear as well. I bought some more, so it's well worth just tuning in to see those. I'm in England, yeah. And then anybody who's interested in music coaching, the email is in the description and in the about, and you can also join the Discord, which is also in the about this channel. Thanks for the stream, mate. Your time perfectly for when I finish work. Take care. Brilliant. All right. Well, enjoy everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow morning for some more craziness. Bye.